What's up, guys? It's been more than a week of League of Legends season 2026, and I wanted to give you guys my verdict on Shaco. Where does Shaco stand right now? Is he good? Is he bad? Did he get buffed or nerfed? What builds and runes are actually working? Do we full clear? Do we cheese? I'm gonna answer all these questions in this video. This is not going to be a full how to play Shaco guide, how to play jungle. The goal of this video is to just simply give you the right direction for this season as AD Shaco, so you don't waste any time experimenting blindly. I also want to quickly introduce myself. For those that don't know me yet, why should you listen to my advice? I've been a Shaco OTP for like almost a decade, I think. Across my accounts, I have accumulated a total of around about 8 million mastery points on Shaco. I peaked 1300 LP, and last season I finished at 1108 LP, not quite challenger, but pretty close. I know a little bit about the game and Shaco. So enough about me, let's start with the video. So first off, I want to talk about my general impression about Shaco and how he is right now in the meta. And I have to say, the first couple of games I played myself were the worst games I played in my life, and the worst feeling I've had ever playing this game. This season feels like it felt like a very different game in the negative sense to me. But that's usually always the case, like big changes like that always take a while to get adjusted to. But I was very sad and depressed, low-key, when I played this season of Shaco. But I got used to it now, it's not that bad. Still, I think the changes that they did, not specifically to Shaco or whatever, like it's more like a general change to the jungle and how the game is being played. I am not a big fan of it. I feel like in this patch a lot of strategic weight on the decisions that you make as a jungler are not there anymore, or like it feels less impactful in a way. Obviously they nerfed early game jungle, but it just feels less strategic in a sense, and it's more of a how well you play the fight and how fast you are at the fight. And like, I don't know, I can't quite put my finger on it, but it just feels worse than last season in my opinion. That being said, he is nerfed, his clear slower, but everyone's clear slower. Shaco still has a like full clear time if you double smite at around like 30 seconds before Scuttle spawns, so it's similar to last season, but obviously you need to smite. Basically, yeah, he got nerfed. The main or the biggest nerfs to Shaco's gameplay was the like jungle spawn. Obviously we don't have enough boxes anymore. We don't full clear as quickly as we used to before. Also invading is nerfed. Last patch there were really strong, low-key broken strategies of invading and winning the game level 1. Like that doesn't work to that extent anymore. So our early game power that Shaco, AD Shaco specifically has or had, was nerfed a little bit. That being said, I think Shaco's still in a fine spot. After I played 100 games already this season, so I got used to it, and Shaco is doing fine. I think he's definitely, or feels worse than last season, but that might not be a Shaco specific thing, but more like a game and jungle changes in general thing. After that initial adjustment period, I can say that I'm now having a better time in League. It probably was also like the early matchmaking of the season, which is really shit to play against. So my most asked question nowadays is, what's the best build for Shaco? Is it crit? Is it lethality? And short answer, build lethality. Full lethality, don't buy crit. I will go into detail later why that is bad. But yeah, instead of giving you one single Shaco build that's like the best one, build this, like I will give you a Shaco build blueprint that you can use to build your own Shaco build. I think this set, like this item set, like these items you see on the screen right now, are all viable, and any combination of these items will be a good viable Shaco build. And you will see me also on stream change my build up, like any of these items, really. I categorized lethality items into 2 categories. The first one is damage, and the second one is utility. And the damage items excel at dealing damage, and utility items provide more utility value. Obviously, these items also provide like utility with the slow, with the fucking blackout passive, whatever. But these items really excel at dealing damage. And the way you approach Shaco builds now is, it's up to your preference really. But if you want damage, you can rush Armor Glaive, which is by the way the best item to rush for damage, like the best single item damage output. And then you can be like, okay, I want more damage, let me go Profane Hydra. Also gives you AoE, it's nice for wave clearing, whatever. And then you can be like, okay, maybe I want some movement speed. Perfectly viable build right now, okay? I did this myself, I do it still, it's really good. And at 3 items usually you want armor penetration, like this. By the way, you don't always need to rush armor penetration as a 3rd item, especially when you're snowballing and the enemy is not buying armor. But yeah, this is a perfectly viable build, and then the last item can be situational, like, I don't know, maybe you want more damage, opportunity, boom, that's the most damage. But you can also go for defensive options like Edge of Night, protects you and your shutdown, and just makes fighting late game easier. But this is like an example build that would work quite well. And that's how you approach the Shaco builds. If you want the most damage, obviously you just buy all the damaging items here. Like this will be the most damage, but then you don't have the movement speeds from Humus, for example. Or like, I don't know, the spell shield from Match of Night. It's really up to you though. As I said, you can't really go wrong building Shaco like this, like trying these items. You can experiment yourself what you like most. Once again, as I said, Umberglaive is the most damage as a first item power spike. And the vision passive on this is really great. I think this item is like maybe the best lethality item right now for Shaco. Some games you'll see me rush Humus Blade, Humus Ghost Blade for the movement speeds. Like you can't really go wrong, I'm gonna be honest. Currently we have 3 armor penetration items, Lord Dominic's, Mortal Reminder, and Cyrilla's Grudge. Last patch this was great, but now they increased the price to 3,300. If we compare this item to Cyrilla's Grudge, like 300 gold more expensive, which is crazy, while providing 10 less AD. This only gives you 35 AD. We don't care about crit, more on that later. This also gives you haste, which is nice, but that's the main thing. It's too expensive. And the Giant Slayer passive is not always useful. The enemy doesn't always buy HP. And I think going like Cyrilla's is my most bought armor penetration item. The only time really I buy Lord Dominic's is when the enemy has like 4 super tanks, like a beefy front line, and yeah, then maybe you can buy it. Then it's probably better. But usually Cyrilla's Grudge. Why not Mortal Reminder? The same reasoning really, like compared to Cyrilla's Grudge, 10 less AD, 5 less armor penetration. We don't care about the crit, and we don't really care about Grievous Wounds because we one-shot anyways. Now, let's talk about one item I didn't mention before, which is Bastionbreaker. Bastionbreaker might be the biggest bait item next to crit for Shaco right now. This item sucks. Don't buy it, guys. Like, this item... Okay, let me reframe it. There's worse items than this. You can buy Deadman's Plate for damage, for example. But this item, compared to any of these damaging lethality items, does less damage for the price. You know, this item is so expensive. Like, this item is 400 gold cheaper than this. Like, 500 gold cheaper than Opportunity. And the damage output is not big enough to justify the amount of gold you spent for it. Also, if you go into detail about this item, like the damage proc, the shaped charge passive, is similar damage to Umberglaive, which is good damage. But if we think about assassins, what's better, to get your damage up front or to delay the damage? This item and the procs towards the end, because Shaco uses a spell at the end of his combo, and it's always better for an assassin to have the damage up front than towards the end. That's just a small detail, but on champion like Zed, for example, like Zed insta-procs it with this QE, right? You might also think that the Sabotage passive is insane, you one-shot turrets, but really, guys, I tried this item. Like, you are never really in a position where you consistently hit the tower as Shaco. You need minions for it. Like, you have to clear the wave and then you hit the turret. And if you are ever in a position as a Shaco to hit a turret, you will get it even without Bastionbreaker. The only, like, useful thing about the Sabotage thing is maybe you can cheese Baron or like any Drake, because this procs on epic monsters, which is an interesting mechanic, but it's so niche and I wouldn't really buy it because it's just so expensive. Okay, enough about Bastionbreaker. Next we talk about crit. Why don't we buy crit? Short answer, it's too expensive and the damage is not good enough. Compared to any of these items, for example, like if I rush a Sense Reaver, right? A Sense Reaver is 350, a whole longsword, gold more expensive. And it doesn't deal more damage when you rush it. It's not more damage than any of those damaging lethality items. It's more expensive. The build path sucks dick. And also, if you buy a second crit item, which is also way more expensive, Collector, 300 gold more expensive, still it doesn't outdamage, even if you crit. I tested. Even if you crit, it doesn't outdamage lethality. And even if you buy another crit item, you don't outdamage compared to a lethality combination. Even if you crit, I tested. The only time it's better than lethality, it's when you have this. When you are practically full build. When you have 4 crit items, then you are stronger. Consistently stronger. But the cost is too large. Those items are too expensive. They are shit to build. They are weaker in the first 3 items. And a Shaco is a champion that cannot wait. You have to be strong in the moment. You have to snowball. You have to kill people quickly. And this just doesn't work. Also, one thing I want to mention is last patch, you maybe did this build, Humus into Infinity Edge, which was a fine build. I did it as well. It's not my favorite build back then, but it's okay. One thing we have to really be careful about now is if we look at the patch notes and look at the Deceive crit multiplier. This one. This is the old multiplier. If we backstab, we deal 1.55 damage. And if we have the old Infinity Edge, we do 1.95. So if you rush Infinity Edge, and you probably won't crit with your 25% crit rate, you would still benefit from the crit damage increase and deal 1.95 damage. In this patch, they changed it. 1.6 is the new buffed damage multiplier of our Q, so if you don't crit 1.6, if you have an early Infinity Edge and you don't crit with your 25% crit rate, you will not deal 1.9 damage, which is the current increase, like the current Infinity Edge will deal 30% more crit damage. It will deal 1.78. They changed how our Q works with crit damage increases. Last patch, it just got added to the modifier, like additively, but now it's being multiplied. So 30% of 60% is 18, and they added that, like it's enough to that. So you shouldn't build crit anyways, but don't even think about rushing Infinity Edge as your first crit item. Like this item only really works as your third or fourth, if you buy crit. But that being said, I don't think crit is worth it compared to lethality. It's too expensive, and it only really outdamages lethality consistently if you have 4 crit items. And by that, bro, the game's already over. Okay, that's regarding the builds, a lot of yapping, but basically the key takeaways: build lethality, don't build Bastionbreaker. If you build these items on the screen, you should be good. Experiment yourself, as I said. There's a lot of viable Shaco builds right now, but I think if you buy these items, you can't really go wrong. Okay, let's talk about runes next. Runes are pretty straightforward. I mean, Halo Blade, no-brainer. Sudden Impact, no-brainer. For me, Sixth Sense, no-brainer. The information you get from the early game wards is really good. And then here, you can choose between Relentless Hunter or Treasure Hunter. I personally prefer Treasure Hunter right now. I just like the gold, helps you snowball in the early game. But sometimes you see me run this one as well. Like, I change it up as well sometimes. Now, secondary runes, I think, for me, Magical Footwear is just best in slot for a secondary rune page. This rune just basically allows you to rush your first items quicker. Like, you achieve your power spike sooner. You can just sit on these Magical Footwear boots for a long time. Sometimes you see me build 3 lethality items without really finishing upgrading my boots. I think you should always run Magical Footwear. People also tried out Cashback. I also tried it. It's like honestly better than expected, but I prefer the early game boost this gives you. This like outvalues Magical Footwear after 3 items, but I prefer this one. Then secondary, you can go this, or this, in my opinion. Like Triple Tonic is honestly really good. You get 60 gold from level 3. The level 6 potion is honestly broken. You get like so much 80, and that can win the fight on end the game at level 6. And the level up is fine, we don't really care about that, but it's a solid rune you can pick. Then you can also go Approach Velocity. It's nice for like gap closing, especially in the early game. You perma activate it with your own slow on your E, like on your auto attacks, so it's always up. It's really good. And then also Cosmic Insight, I like a lot. I feel like smites are really like got buffed this patch, so having more smites and more summoner spells, like it's always good. Like Cosmic Insight will always be relevant for junglers. So that's my go-to page right now. I also want to talk about some other secondary pages you might want to run. Like, this rune page is also fine if you want. Like, in my opinion, Inspiration is like outperforming this one, but this is also fine. It's not bad, you can run it. Always take Cut Down over this one, because as I said, Assassin's upfront damage is more important than execute damage. Attack speed also just, yeah, it's fine, you can run it. I also used to run this one quite a lot, but honestly, I think Inspiration once again outperforms. This is the most scaling and most attack damage you get, but it just, the early strength and snowball potential you get from Inspiration is just better in my opinion. And that's the secondary runes. Here, attack speed, flat AD, and scaling HP. If I'm invading, I would have taken flat HP, but I'm not invading, so scaling HP. I want to also briefly talk about summoner spells on Shaco. If you watch my stream, you will basically only see me running Flash nowadays. Like, I used to run Flash last season and the season before that. It has always been a viable summoner spell in my opinion for Shaco. But in this season, I feel like the early game aspects, like getting a kill with Ignite early game, is not as important in this new season. And what's more important is like playing late mid-game fights correctly, having more opportunities with Flash. And the reason why I like Flash so much is it just helps you gap close, because sometimes you just need a little bit of extra distance to cover, and Flash just helps you with that. Also, it can save your life. You can flash away after an engage, which is huge in the late game. It's just a very great summoner spell in general. It just works very well with Shaco, and you don't need Ignite to get kills early. And it's not like Flash is useless in the early game. It's just as good as Ignite when it comes to early game. It just has a very long cooldown. But I will always run Flash. I highly recommend it for you guys to try it out. It might take some time getting used to it, because if you have only used Ignite your entire life, you might flash in place a few times, but you will get used to it, and I think you guys will enjoy playing with Flash. But I still think you can go Ignite. Ignite and Flash are both fine. Just pick your preference. Right now, I like Flash more. Right, it's time to talk about the clearing. I think in this season, you don't invade. You don't cheese invade. Last season, it was a very strong and meta strategy to just clear the chickens and invade level 1. It was a very quick clear, and the enemy didn't have a lot of counterplay, to be honest. Very broken strategy for Shaco. Even if they knew you were doing it, there was not much for the enemy to do, really. But in this season, I think it's too slow. The camps are spawning too fast, and the only time it really works, it's not worth it in my opinion. Like, it's just full clear. I'm not a big fan of cheesing anyways, but right now I think the payoff is too big. Like, just full clear in my opinion, and I'm gonna show you the full clears. I always run Blue Smite, by the way. It's a no-brainer. Like, for 80 Shaco, always run Blue Smite. Like, after base, if you run straight to the camp, you will place your first box at 25 seconds, maybe 26. I'm gonna show you the full clears that I do the most of my games. By the way, I am not gonna edit this part. I'm just gonna leave it unedited. If you want, you can speed it up on YouTube. But basically, we just spam our boxes here. All on the debuff. It's pretty straightforward. No fancy 2-camp box action. I tried it out. I think this is the most efficient way to do it. Just all on 1 camp. Keep backstepping. You're gonna smite it. They changed something about jungle camps. It's a bit harder to backstab, I feel like. Like, they are a bit fatter, they turn slowly. Especially if trucks, you notice it. You want to backstab, and then we start kiting it. By the way, really important to start kiting, because that will save you more time than actually trying to backstab. And the small wolves are about to die. I missed my backstab, are you fucking kidding me? Okay, he should be dead by now. He should need 1 less auto attack, I missed my backstab, but a good benchmark is if you touch the wave here, you're doing fine. 2 points in W. I'm just waiting here for my Q cooldown, because you walk around and use Q anyways, you know, it's faster this way. Now here, backstab a couple times, place blocks, backstab this shit, then smite. Let's look at it. Like, if you do it correctly, you will arrive, like, you will finish the full clear at 25 to 30 seconds before scuttle spawn. Obviously, I double smited, so if the enemy jungler is contesting and he has prio, like, you will not be able to get the scuttle grab. You can decide to not smite here and then arrive a few seconds later. It's also fine, depends on the game. But sometimes you want to double smite and use that additional time for a gank. So the red side clear is the same, basically, as the blue side one. You put all your boxes on the camp and smite it. Just keep backstabbing. It's a bit forgiving here, even if every single backstab. Must be a little bit faster because of the smite. When this spawns, backstab. Here, wait a bit before I move. Wait for the thing to turn and then move. It makes it easy to backstab. Wait. Wait. I can place the boxes. At 200 you can leave it, usually. You will kill it. Make sure to attack the little truck, so it dies at the same time as the large one. Here, place your box now. When it's at 450 you can leave it. Oh shit. Don't kill me. Towards W again. The fastest full clear would be to do blue buff now. If you want to have a better rotation, obviously, I mean, better path you want to do drop next. Sometimes it survives with like little HP, but it will die. And as soon as you smite this, you can stop the timer basically. The box will follow it. It's like, also, this is, I feel like the red side is a bit faster than the blue. But if you do perfectly, you should do it at like 30 seconds before the skull. That's for the full clears. I am gonna show you another start, which is basically the chicken start. I'm not gonna show you the full clear because I CBA, to be honest. But it's basically, you start like this, you put your 2 boxes on the chicken camp. The first box is, once again, 25 seconds. Like this. Let me actually speed it up, man. This one here, and then you start here. So they spawn. You start attacking. The next box comes up, you put it here, and then once this thing reaches, you can just smite it. I don't know why it was so close this time, I think something fucked up. But yeah, just clear like that, clear this, clear this. This is also a very fast clear. It's almost like the same. It's the same speed as the other ones, but this one starts at chicken. So I think I want to also address the cheeses that are still like possible, but I don't think they're that viable. Maybe I just don't like them that much. I think the most consistent way of doing the cheese with the chicken start is you do this. They will spawn because you only get to place 2, right? I usually do 1 auto attack really, and then place my next box, and then you just invade the blue buff here. This will kill it. You can do 2 auto attacks if you want to make sure, and then yeah, when they start here you can just kill them. This is the fastest cheese you can do. There's also like the variant where you can do it by going here, but honestly I don't recommend it, guys. You don't do those cheeses. I feel like the full clear is much better now. Last patch it was really good because it was so quick and there was no counterplay at all, but now sometimes they ward this and you have this giant vision here, and then now they see you and you're not even that much faster. Like I don't like it. Just full clear, guys. Do those full clears. If you practice those full clears, you should be able to full clear if you double smite 25 to 30 seconds before skulls spawn. It's still a pretty alright time. Okay, thanks for watching, guys. That was basically the entire video. If you have any questions, let me know. Comment section below. You can ask me on stream on my Discord. Yeah. Thanks for watching. See you next time.